Meanwhile, Arteta, talking about transfers, says perfection in this league requires different standards to relate that word to... Sorry, let me start that again. Perfection in this league requires different standards to relate that word to winning the Premier League. We know there are certain positions that we want to improve and give the squad better resources, especially in terms of numbers where we are very short. We are so close. There are moments where we had really fine margins. It's all about the depth in squad, James. This seems to be Arteta's target this summer.
Yeah, I mean, they got 89 points last season, which was a club record for them in the Premier League era. Most wins, I think it was 28, Premier League record for them. Most goals, another Premier League record for them, and yet they still didn't win the league. So, you know, we're not talking about major surgery here. I think when I think about Arsenal last season, I think the key moment, and everybody points to that Villa game, it was the one game they lost in the run-in. And I think the key point about that was that it came between the two Bayern Munich Champions League quarter-final legs. And that, I think, it just demonstrates that the strength of squad is just not quite there. We're talking very fine margins, and I don't think it's fair to be overly critical of them, just given how consistent they were in the second half of last season. But if you look at that one game and you think about, well, is that where they lost it? It did come in the middle of a point where you'd think, well, if he had no hesitation, in the same way that Guardiola does at City, to be able to rotate 2 or 3 or maybe 4 players in across those 3 games to keep everyone fresh. Of course, they lost to Villa. They then went out of the Champions League and lost that second leg to Bayern. And the season obviously didn't end in the way that they wanted because of those 2 results. I think that's what they have identified and sort of thought, well, what we want is more interchangeable quality. So not necessarily 25 players. I think Arteta's ideal squad size would probably be 19, 20, 21 really, but they're all interchangeable in terms of quality, and you can trade in, as I say, City have done for years, where, you know, Mahrez would play one week, Grealish would play the next, Foden would come in or out, you know, obviously Doku's there now. That ability to be able to rotate in the wide positions and in the centre forward position is probably something that they're looking at doing. They're going to sign a centre back, Calafiori from Bologna. That deal is very, very close. I think they're also looking at a central midfielder, probably to support what they already have rather than necessarily upgrade. And yeah, the centre forward position is another one that they wanted Benjamin Sesko from Red Bull, but obviously he signed a new contract there and stayed for at least another year. So I think they're really evaluating their options in attack.
Are they looking at someone like Ivan Toney?
No, I mean, I keep being steered away from that one. It's funny, actually, because Toney, it sort of looks as though a year ago that Toney had a really big market. You know, Chelsea would be looking at him, Tottenham, Arsenal. But Arsenal have sort of, my sources have consistently steered me away from Toney as a possible option for them. I think they're looking for maybe somebody a little bit younger, perhaps somebody who's a little bit more mobile in terms of being able to play out wide and through the middle. I think they want that versatility. Which obviously Toney's more of a sort of fixed kind of number 9, as good as he is. Whether they pivot again late in the window, I mean, as I say, if the market isn't there and Brentford need to sell and the price comes down, then I think a few other clubs will look to take a punt on him, because he's obviously got a lot of quality and he is proven in the Premier League.
They need a striker, Robbo.
They do, absolutely. They need a striker.
89 points last year without one.
But they didn't win the title. And they're a good side, but they need something else, you know. And you can't keep saying we want a centre forward who can play out wide. Jesus can do that, and he didn't do it well enough over a period of a couple of years. There's too many players now. You say, well, Havertz, you know, he's a centre forward, but he also play midfield. And James is absolutely right. You've got to have players that can play in different positions. You've got to have that rotation. Calafiori can play at left back, he can play at centre half. Ben White, we know, can play centre half, right back. So he's getting players that can play in several different positions. But at times, Arsenal need an out-and-out centre-forward. Somebody's going to lead the line. When they're dominating games and can't score and they get crosses in the box, somebody that's going to head the ball in the back of the net. And that could be Ivan Toney, I think.
Do you know, I don't want to listen to Arsenal and Arteta talking about what we need to do. We want to improve in possessions and we need a bigger score. I don't want to hear that at this time of the year. I want to hear some positive. Yeah. We want to win the title. We think we've got enough to win the title. We just have to get better. We have to take advantage whenever we get ourselves for.
Yes, Stevie. Yes.
I don't want to listen
optimism.
To. Oh well, we need more cover and more position. Shut up, please.
Oh, another. You've told Ten Hag to shut up. Now Arteta to shut up.
How's it about you go? You know what? I think we can do it this year. This year we've got the ability and we've got the players to win this. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear excuses. Hey, once you start playing the games, there'll be plenty of times to make excuses. I don't want to hear it before the ball's kicked.
Oh,
come on.
There we are. We'll say thank you very much to James. Much appreciated, mate. As always, you can check out that interview, by the way. It's available on YouTube. Arsenal, of course, taking on Bournemouth. That's tonight, 10:30 Eastern, live on ESPN+.